Mystery Box Nick has sent me 5 packages, each with a cryptic clue on them. I'm Gary, welcome to my channel, and welcome to the next reveal video in Nick's Mystery Week. Before we look at today's package, why not take time to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell? It's free, it supports the channel, and it's a great way to be notified of all my future content. If you like the video, please remember to give it the imperial thumbs up on the like button below, because every like counts. Here we go then, with today's conundrum. Nick's mystery box number 5, the bonkers one, apparently. You know I love a bonkers plane. Comrade Gary, what are we going to do with these 2 spare I-5 biplanes? I don't know, it's a mystery to me. Signed, Comrade Nick. So, straight away, this has got to be Russian or Soviet. It's got a couple of biplanes. I think I know what it is. If I'm right, I'm really excited because it's a properly bonkers thing. Let's have a look inside. Oh, it is. This is so exciting because it is so totally mad. But they did fly. I'll say this for them. They did actually fly. Not amazingly well, but yes. Zveno 1A. This is a Tupolev CB1 bomber with a couple of I-5 fighters as parasites attached to it. This is so beautiful. It is so crazy. What a great looking kit this is. Okay, it's made by A Model, so who knows what it's going to go together like. 1/72 scale, so it's going to be very big. The code is 72290. Let's have a look at the printing. Is completely out of register, but who cares? On the side, there's some other aircraft in the various ranges that they do. Something you can barely read here, again, because it's sort of not very printed terribly well. It's made in Poland, which is kind of surprising that they're that bad. But anyway, it just says, you know, there's no paint or glue, essentially, is what it says. Let's have a look inside the kit. So, instruction sheet. I love that. Put that on there. Colour callouts. Lots of plastic. Lots of different types of plastic. Oh my goodness, there's even photo etch. Okay, let's have a closer look and see what we've got inside here. So the box contains 1 bag of bits for the bomber, 2 bags of bits for the fighters, 1 each, the attachments as a separate frame, and a little bit of photo etch as well. And we'll have a look at all these little bits and pieces. First of all, we have individual frames, the upper and lower halves of the wings, and therefore there are 4 of these, obviously, for the 2 halves of the main wing. Then there is a fuselage section, all of this in really nice sort of corrugated aluminium. And there's more parts of the fuselage, the rudder and the ailerons, I presume, here. The tail surfaces are all here, rudder, fin, and the horizontal stabilizer, tailplane, and the elevators. Then there's various components of the engine assemblies, I guess, bits and pieces. It's difficult to know what some of this stuff is until we actually start building it, of course. This is the top of the fuselage here. You can see this is where the crew sit, the pilot and co-pilot sit, or pilot and navigator maybe, and 3 positions for the air gunners. There are 2 identical frames here. These are mainly for engine components and for the main wheels. A frame of all sorts of bits and pieces, a ladder here. I'm not sure what these parts are. I'm guessing these are, I don't know, something to do with the engines maybe even, or the undercarriage perhaps. But I'm not sure what they are. Big wheels, one of these at least, or maybe both of those is going to be for the pilots. And then the last bit of grey plastic, I'm guessing these are the main undercarriage legs here. There's defensive guns and fittings here as well. Then there's some transparencies. I mean, none of the crew get much protection. This is the bomb aimer's position here, but obviously it's not going to have much of a bomb aimer if you're carrying a load of fighters on board. And this is essentially the only protection the crew get, these tiny little deflection windows. Each of the I-5 fighters comes on 2 separate frames. So you get 2 copies of each of these 2 frames. This one, of course, is mainly the fuselage, wheels, engine, and so on. The other frame are the wings, tailplane, and some struts. There are also some very, very small transparent parts. I'm guessing these are sort of rudimentary windshields or something for the front. We also get a piece of photo etch here. It's got an instrument panel for the aircraft. Various other bits and pieces, I think things like machine gun mounts. I don't know if those are harnesses, straps, bits and pieces. But, you know, nice little bits of detail for the aircraft. It's also a mask set for the aircraft, although there's no information about what bit goes where. I think you have to find that out for yourself. Looking at the moulding in general, it seems very good. The corrugation looks good and straight, reasonably deeply recessed, so it looks convincing. Not sure what's happening around here, whether that's supposed to be corrugated or not. I don't know. But it looks reasonably good, reasonably clean, at least, on the TB1 here. Yeah, that's fine. Likewise, on the wings, the mouldings are okay. It's a bit of flash here, which isn't desperately difficult. You know, I'd always like a little bit too much plastic than too little. What is a real pain are these injection points all the way along the leading edge, probably on the bottom half as well as the bottom half, top half here. All of those are going to have to be cleaned out, and all of those corrugation lines are going to have to be repeated, which is a bit of a pain, to be honest. But other than that, they're okay. Now, with some of the detail molding, again, I'd rather have too much plastic than too little, but there are some noticeable mold lines along the edges, and there are noticeable bits of flash. I don't know what some of this stuff is supposed to look like. I've no idea what that's supposed to look like or what it's going to look like. So I have no idea how much of that I actually need to keep yet. That one's a bit of a challenge, to be honest. But anyway, all of these teeny tiny pieces. I mean, look at the amount of flash on that. I'm hoping that these actually are repeated in the photo etch, and I won't have to use them then. Now, I'm not entirely sure what any of that's supposed to be. Looking at the fighters, the first thing you notice is that they're made by ICM. These are not A model I-5 fighters. These are ICM I-5 fighters from 2003. So whilst they were still making slightly ropey molds, as we can see here at this wingtip, that's awful. nasty sort of things I have to clean up. But not impossible. Again, moulding onto the leading edge is really not very nice to have to deal with. They are single piece wings, however, so there's no top and bottom to get together, so you can get rid of those. It's not too much of an issue, and also they're not corrugated, so that's a good thing. Instrument panel, fairly basic, but I think it was fairly basic on this aircraft. Detail moulding is pretty good. Not desperate amounts of flash. I think a lot of this is really just mold marks, most of it. Yeah, little bits of flash popping up just here and there, but okay. On the other frame here, it's a little bit more pronounced. Some of the flash you can see here on this strut is quite significant. Around the edges of the cockpit, it's not all that clean. Engine's nice though. All the engines seem to have come out okay. These various parts around the ring here look all right. Let's see what that engine looks like. And get it to focus. Not the best, but you know what? Probably not the worst. Propeller looks very straightforward. Bit of flash on that as well. So not too bad. I mean, yeah, it's ICM of more than like 5 or so years ago, so it's going to be a bit ropey at times. But you know, we can manage. It's not terrible. So the instruction manual here, reprise of the box art, very straightforward. The span of the kit is 400 millimeters, so that's about 16 inches, 17 inches or so. 250 millimeters long, 320 pieces in total, and a scale of 1 in 72. There's a conversion of the instruction symbols here. All of this is in English and in Russian. And color callouts, all of which are using Humbrol numbers, so relatively straightforward to change. Humbrol 30 dark green, pretty much everything at the top is dark green. I'm going to guess that's probably something like 4BO green or something like that. We'll find out for sure. Okay. Inside the instructions are frame maps. It's quite a lot of frames. The photo etch and the canopy mask as well. And then the scheme of assembly in an exploded diagram style. It's relatively straightforward to follow. There are a few bits and pieces that are a bit weird, but other than that, not terrible. Engines are here. It all tells you how many bits of this is the confusing thing. It says you need 257s, 258s, 265s. So just put the numbers down on there. Don't tell me all these different bits and pieces. That's very confusing. Very. When you get to this, right, we're going to make 3 sets of machine guns. There's quite a lot of parts in there, but all this. I try and ignore that. That's the construction of the fuselage, obviously, and the wings. It looks fairly straightforward. A lot of this. Okay, you have to do a bit of drilling here and there for things. The main place you can do some drilling is later on. I don't actually know what this is even, but anyway, they're not going to be bombs, surely. Not on a thing like this. Maybe I don't know what they are. Anyway, and then you've got the instructions for the I5s, a bit more concise, a bit more compressed. And then the main drilling you're going to have to do for the pilot holes for the struts that hold the whole thing together, that the fighters sit on. Okay, that's all done. And lastly, there's a single full color sheet here showing the color marking layouts, which is fairly straightforward, and the placing of the decals, which is more important in many ways. Other than that, it's actually very, very straightforward. all over green, apart from the underside, which is light blue. The decal sheet, essentially just a whole load of red stars and a few numbers. There's no other stencils, no other markings at all on any of this, so very, very basic. A model decals, not the best generally, quite delicate, so we'll see how we get on. I may have to buy some other decals for this. I'm hoping not for the numbers, because they're very sort of Soviet script numbers and they're difficult to get. But the actual red stars are relatively straightforward to get. But they're fine, printed nicely enough, nice colour. Not much else I can say really. There's a lot of red stars. There we go. What a great looking kit. I'm going to have a lot of fun putting that together. If you've liked this video, then please remember the thumbs up on the like button below. And please do take the time to subscribe and hit the bell. It doesn't cost you anything and it supports the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.